Good morning, dears. Hope you are all fine. Today we will start with Unit 2 in our chemistry book, since Unit 1 is not included. Chapter 1 in Unit 2 is Classification of Substance. The objectives of this lesson are: Number 1. Define a pure substance. Number 2. Indicate the physical properties of pure substance. Number 3. Define an element. Number 4. Define a compound. Let's start with the definition of pure substance. A pure substance is made of only one kind of material, having a specific set of physical constants. Example: salt, iron, copper. Here there are some examples of pure substances: gold metal, salt, copper wire, hydrogen gas, diamond, and sugar. Each one is a pure substance, and each one is made of only one kind of material. Also, we should note that pure substance can't be separated into substances using any separation physical techniques, such as decantation, centrifuging, filtration, magnetic sorting, distillation, or any other techniques used for mixture. So, what are these physical properties or these physical constants of pure substance? The physical properties can be either descriptive or measurable. Descriptive, such as color, smell, which they are observed, whereas the physical properties which they are measurable, they can be measured, such as density, solubility, melting point, and boiling point. As a conclusion, the substances are identified according to their physical properties and not to their states. Here, this figure shows two types of a pure substance. The first type is a pure substance that cannot be broken down into simpler substances by any chemical change, whereas the second type is a pure substance that can be broken down into simpler substances by a chemical change. The second type is a pure substance that is made up of a pure substance of the first type. So, the first type is called an element, whereas the second type is called a compound. A compound is made up of two or more elements. So, pure substances can be either elements or compounds. Thus, can we define an element? Yes, element is a pure substance that can't be broken down into simpler substances by heating or by any chemical change. Example: iron. Also, there are some examples here like aluminium, carbon, copper, mercury, and sulfur. These are elements. Whereas compound is a pure substance that can be broken down into two or more simpler substances by a chemical change. Example: oxygen is an element. Magnesium is also an element. When there is a chemical reaction between magnesium and oxygen, means when magnesium burns in the presence of oxygen, a compound is formed. This compound is called magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide is a compound that can be broken down into two simpler substances, magnesium and oxygen, by a chemical change. Finally, as a summary for the first part of the lesson, element and compound are pure substances. Element is a pure substance that can't be broken down into simpler substances by any chemical change, whereas compound can be broken down into simpler substances by a chemical change. Because compound is made up of two or more elements. Example, element which is an iron, in the presence of another element which is humid air, they give the rust which is a compound. Compound can be broken down by a chemical change, but it can't be separated by any physical separation techniques such as filtration, centrifuging, magnetic sorting, distillation. These physical separation techniques, they can only use for the mixture. Compound is not a mixture. Compound is a pure substance.